Let's see here. Hey everybody. I thought I was live there for a second, but I guess I wasn't. Oh my goodness. So I'm sorry to keep you waiting. If you are out there in YouTube land waiting, I appreciate you waiting. And don't forget, this is live, so it is interactive. If you have any questions or anything like that, just know that you can also give me a holler who you are, where you're from, and all that kind of stuff too. So this is going to be a little bit of an explanation of the moon, the full moon in Cancer. It's actually moving from, oh gosh, it's moving. We're already in the full moon, put it that way. It actually is coming in at 5:30, 7:30 actually, Pacific time, and Eastern time at 10:30. So, but what I'm going to do, guys, first off is I'm going to do a little bit of explaining to bring the full moon to a full light of what's happening with the energies. And then we'll go into just a real quick reading on, because we are doing this on the 29th, on the day of the full moon, and it is going into Cancer. So there's some energies, though, that the astrologers, especially, I've been listening to a master astrologer since, gosh, the early 90s, maybe mid 90s, when he actually became live on the internet. Now, he used to have a partner, he passed away, and he used to do a lot of zodiac, but he's a master astrologer, and I love to listen to him. A lot of it goes over my head, even to this day, but I've listened to him for so many years, and I would have to say, out of all the astrologers that I have listened to, he is the most accurate and most factual. So I'm going to share something because he asked us to share as much as we can, so people get this concept of now we are in the age of Aquarius. We are not. Please understand, we are not in the age of Aquarius. It is not factual to say that we are in the age of Aquarius. And I'm going to explain a couple things why, so that you understand, because it leads up to this full moon. This full moon has a lot of energies that are going to bring us through probably till the end of February. I mean, the full moon is going to move on, but the planets that are moving around the earth and the sun and the whole shebang, I'm not going to go into it. If you want to listen to him and if you want to learn this stuff, his name is Rick Levine. And he is on Google, and he's on YouTube and the Patreon and things like that. But I do listen to other ones as well, but I just find him the most accurate. So if you're into that, he's really, really good. But the one thing I will share, because he asked for everybody to share, is that we're not in the age of the Aquarius. And this is really huge because a lot of people think that you're going into the age of Aquarius. It has a completely different meaning and energies, and this is not accurate. So here's the thing. The ages do not have anything to do with planet movement. Period. It doesn't. It has to do with the precession cycle, which is the cycle of the equinox. So in ancient days, they did things different because they went by the stars and the constellations and things like that. Here in this modern day world, we don't. We go by the zodiac sign, which is 12 months, basically, because we're going by the seasons, and it starts with the equinox. So that's one reason why we're not in the age of Aquarius, okay? The other reason is that you have to think about how the planets move, okay? So they either move in forward or they move in reverse, right? So the planet actually moves backwards, or Earth moves backwards, and the Earth actually doesn't move, like evenly. It actually has a little bit of a wobble to it, okay? So with that wobble, you think of a top. You spin a top really fast and it moves backwards, but as it slows down, it begins to wobble. So here's the factual part about, especially with the Saturn-Jupiter conjunction, is that the Earth's wobble, one wobble for that Earth to actually make a full rotation, and just think of a top as it wobbles just once to fall down. That one wobble takes 29 29,000, what is it? 29,920 years. So this is why we are not in the age of the Aquarius, because here's the thing. So if you break that down, it is the Earth moves 1 degree every 72 years, okay? And you guys can come back and figure this out and everything too, but later I'll explain. This is just for you guys to understand, to share this with your friends that we're not in the age of Aquarius. So every 72 years, the Earth moves 1 degree. Well, it has to move 360 degrees in order to make for one full wobble, right? Well, if you take the 72 times 360, that is 25,920. Okay, we're never going to live that long. Okay, but here's the other thing. Here's the thing, because we talk about the zodiac sign. Modern days talk about the zodiac sign, right? 12 months. Start with the equinox. That's how it works. I'm not going to go into all of what I know and what he shares, because I don't want to get you guys confused, because I want to get to the full moon. But here's the thing to understand. For the ages of time to change by the zodiac, a lot of people and misinformation and unfactual evidence is that the ages change every 2,000 years. So Pisces would have been the start of the Christian era around the year 2000. Well, that's not accurate, because if you do the math, 25,920 divided by 12 is 1,160 on an average. So with the Saturn-Jupiter conjunction being so close to Christmas and the Christmas star and all that rigmarole, the thing is, we're way off. We're not even to an age of anything for about another century and a half. So that's what I wanted to share with you, because a lot of people get this misconstrued idea about when the ages start and stop. We don't even know when Pisces started. We don't even know. So we can't even base when Aquarius is. They sort of estimated around the birth of Jesus Christ, because a lot of this people don't realize that this all starts by very before Christ and after Christ. It's biblically based. It's like the ram in the bush. The Taurus is the bull that was sacrificed. You know, they're talking about biblical things. Anyway, we're not going to go there. However, the Jupiter-Saturn conjunction that we had on the 21st is so relevant, because it was the closest that we have seen the Christmas star as what the Magi saw. But this is so close, and I'm not going to go into it. Watch Rick Levine's thing, and if you really, you'll get into it, and if you're like, if it's way over your head, go to the middle where he starts talking about the 21st, and that will help you understand. However, that we did not have this Saturn-Jupiter conjunction. Now, it usually happens every 20 years, right? However, that this Saturn-Jupiter conjunction was so close to the Christmas star, probably what the Magi saw, because it was the first time they actually can date back to seeing it was 14 AD. So 14 years after death of Christ is what that is. And that was on December 26th. That's the closest. Then remember, the news was talking about it. It hasn't happened for 1,200 years. And that's actually, or 800 years. That's pretty accurate. But the thing is, what they were trying to say, which they did, if they would have done more research, that it was actually 868 years that this conjunction happened, so close to Christmas, because that was on December 24th that happened, that the Christmas star and the conjunction, Jupiter-Saturn conjunction, was seen. These are huge energies. That's why this was such a big thing. And it wasn't so much about Saturn and Jupiter being in conjunction. It was the 3 alignments and where all the other planets were actually sitting at the same time at that moment. So you got to figure it's about 800 to 1,200 years that we probably won't see that again. But you will see the Saturn-Jupiter conjunction every 20 years. Okay. So right now, as we have Jupiter moving away from Saturn, so the energies are going to begin to change to be opposite of what we had in 2020, because we had a lot of Saturn in 2020, a lot of Capricorn in 2020. So as we hit this full moon and the new year, things are going to be shifting and moving. So we're moving into the Aquarius, which is a moving stage. So the full moon is sort of the start of this. Well, actually, I take that back. The Jupiter-Saturn conjunction, along with everything else that is going on, is actually beginning that moving process of being stagnant and also being in conflict, confliction, things like that. So anyway, hey Star, hey Felix, hey, how are you? Hey Star, just a heads up, I got your email and we're going to sit down and talk one-on-one. We need to do that, either Zoom, Facebook, not Facebook, Zoom, WhatsApp, or whatever. We need to do that one-on-one, and there's no charge. Okay, I do this for free. So my gift is to help you guys. So just look for an email later on. All right. And hey, Felix, thanks always. You're always here. I appreciate it. Okay. So on the full moon now that's coming in, remember the full moon this is going to be really key for everybody starting the first of the year. And this is sort of something that you really want to think about, because I'm going to sort of talk about the full moon a little bit with your plans for the new year, because all this that's happening, like I said about the conjunction and the full moon and everything, what is being delayed is we are going to be in a sort of a seed planting phase, and we're coming into the end of the year. So you'll hear me talk about in your readings, no resolutions. Do not do that to yourself. Don't. We want to set up a goal, a plan, a vision. We want to really set up a vision. So that is what's going to happen here, where we need to do this for the end of the year, because the full moon that's coming in is going to give you more time to plant those seeds. So usually in a new moon to the full moon, we're in a planting seed phase. We're actually in the visionary stage. We're in the intention phase. We're in, like I tell you guys, the garden phase. We just planted the seed. Now you got to take care of your garden. If you're brand new, you'll learn it. Okay. So if you're new coming on, you'll learn this, because it's really important to understand your roots and your foundation and everything, and how to grow that through whatever you need for your purpose and your journey, right? So right now at this end of the year, if you were a client of mine, I would say, let's sit down and make a tentative plan of what you want to do in this first month. That's going to be your vision, and you're planting your seed and those kind of things, because this is the full moon. This is what's happening. It's giving us more time as we get ready to go to the new moon again, because the full moon is the median. It's the center. And then the new moon is the beginning of a new cycle. So we're still in the middle of this cycle. So at the end of the year, it's really important for you to get a vision of what you want, because that's your seed right there, your vision. And because with the full moon coming, there's going to be, with this full moon today and for the next couple of days, I want you to be aware to see where your tension lies. There's going to be some tension, and it's almost going to be a tension between the inner self and what's going on outside. So you're going to have feelings and feelings of wanting to protect your heart, yourself, for your life and everything. But you're going to be fighting that, because you need to be really thinking about also outside. So you're going to be in a conflict. Well, I really don't want to do that. That's really not what I want to do. But you know what? So this is where this conflict, there's going to be some inner tension for the next couple of days with this full moon. That's okay, because it's getting you to think. It's getting you to think. And there is a turning point with this full moon, and it's getting you to think, because we've all been stretched to our limit, to the max we have. This is what the full moon is sharing. You guys have been stretched to the full max. Ha, ha, ha. I got you stretched where I want you to go, right? So it's stretching you to that max, but it's also got you thinking. But it's also got you thinking internally. Now, if you guys have seen your readings for this week, or last week, I talk about the Hierophant being the card for 2021. So this is going to be an inner struggle. I call it a spiritual struggle, but this is an inner struggle between earth and spirit. And this is sort of where you have to begin to think. And this is why I say write down your visions. And then you have to do a pros and cons list if you want to do this. And then you also do a plan. What is my plan? You cannot have a vision without a plan. There's no way. And that's what this is showing you, is that the full moon is a turning point. This is an extreme turning point. This is a turning point with the Hierophant for 2021 is a time to heal. There is going to be a real need deep inside you of wanting to heal. Heal yourself, heal whatever wound it is, heal the growth or whatever you need to do. Heal so that you can grow and explode in your purpose is what it is. So that's what's going to be also happening. And conflicts are going to keep coming up through at least the end of January. Well, conflicts are always going to be part of our life, but it's how big the conflict, how we react to the conflict, how we think of the conflict again. And we really won't know what's going on. Nobody knows what's going to happen. Absolutely nobody. So if somebody's saying, well, I already know what's going to happen. They're full of shit. Because they don't. They don't know. They really don't. They have no idea. And if they do, I'd like them to show me the facts where they're getting them. Nobody has a clue what's going to be happening because it's like this right now, but we're going out the door. Remember in those readings, I keep telling you, we're in the beginning of the birth canal. We're pushing. We've got contractions, expansion, contractions, expansion, just like a birth canal. That's what we're going through. We're going through healing, growth, healing, growth. That's what 2021 is going to be about for everybody. Not just any sign particular, everybody. All right. So that's going to be really, really huge. One of the things that is mentioned, though, that you really want to pay attention to. Remember, I talked to you guys about your intuition. Your intuition is going to be really key with this full moon and moving forward, especially through the end of January, because your intuition is going to lead you in the direct path. Because the energies that you're going to be getting, you're going to be questioning yourself. And you really have to listen to your intuition because that spirit's saying, this is me guiding you here, right? So with this full moon, you're going to start questioning yourself. Am I misleading somebody in the wrong way? Or are they misleading me in the wrong way? Or is someone misleading me? Or am I misleading somebody? Or am I misleading myself? You really have to know. This is why a vision chart is really, really important. Being a business owner or an entrepreneur, we have to have vision charts where we want to be. So then that's how successful people are, no matter if it's money or not. If I want a good family, how am I going to get there? If I want a good career, how am I going to get there? If I want good money, how am I going to get there? That kind of a thing. So this is also, too, for this full moon, it's going to start questioning. You're going to start questioning things about yourself. Am I going down the wrong path? Do I really want to, and I don't want to lead anybody in the wrong way. Trust me, what I do right here and what I'm doing with you guys right now, I sit there and I wonder, I hope I'm not leading anybody down the wrong track. But then I listen to Spirit and say, I've got you doing this for a reason. I don't have to understand why, but he has me doing it for a certain reason. And he's prepared me for this time. And so that's why I'm doing it. However, I have to listen to my intuition and listen to that little voice that makes me feel good about what I am doing. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay, and lastly on the full moon is that communication is going to be an issue. So, and an issue in mean that we're still planting seeds. We still have an intention. And we have to remember that it has to be a realistic intention. It has to be a realistic seed that we're planting. I mean, I could say, yep, I'm going to be an astronaut in 10 years. Unrealistic, right? So, I mean, and plus I'm 60. I'd like to see that happen. Hi, Abigail. Thank you for popping in. But it is unrealistic. Now, if I was in my 20s and I was a science nerd, which I'm not, or a mathematics nerd, possibility. So we have to pick things that are actually not, and this has been through the last couple of months as well, that you are, you know, I've been putting this in the readings that we have to look at the facts, not the fiction. We have to look at the reality, not the fantasy. Same thing that's going on here. And this is really going to be important for you guys to think about that until the end of January, because January is going to bring a whole shift and change again in energies and stuff. So right now is the planting time. So those energies that are coming in on the 21st, that's when that little plant is going to begin to sprout and grow. But you got to do your homework. You have to be intentional about it. And that's what the full moon is saying. Now, what they're also saying about the New Year's Eve, which would make sense, because the way that the planets, and the planets I'm talking about is Venus is going to square with Neptune, and it's going to go into a node and axis, and then Neptune's going to square with the nodes and all this kind of rigmarole. The thing is that it's going to feel really uncomfortable. It's going to feel really unabnormal. Duh, you know, right? Because everybody's probably going to have to stay home. I know in the United States, they're really doing a lockdown on all the restaurants and bars and all that kind of stuff. So it's going to be really, really, it's sort of a glitchy day. It's like when you guys play your games, or whoever plays games out there, or, you know, and all of a sudden it starts glitching, or you're watching TV and your cable or whatever starts glitching. It's going to be one of those days. It's going to be like a real, like, weird energy day, because things have shifted so much that it's not going to be normal, and this is not our normal. So yeah, it's going to feel a little different, but that's not the energy I'm talking about. I'm talking about that inside you. It's going to feel like that's where you really have to not question yourself and go with the flow, with the moon energies that are coming up. And this moon energy, remember, lasts for 2, 3, 4 days, just depending on the speed of what's going on around it and how fast it's moving and we're moving, that kind of a thing. So, but the thing is that it's going to feel really glitchy and sort of off and a little bit, you know, kerfuffled. Just go with the flow, because whatever the energy is right now, and embrace it. I'm going to say thank you. So I had a download, embrace it. Because thank you, I'm getting a download. So what they're saying is embrace it, because this is a once in a lifetime only feeling that you will have. This is something that is not going to happen again. This is history. You will talk about it years and years and years and years to come, and your generations will talk about it too if you share it with them. You're going to say, wow, do you remember back in 2020 on New Year's Eve, nobody could go out. Nobody could do this. This was all new. This was all weird. It was the most weirdest feeling that everybody had. Very isolating, very blah, 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 blah. So they're saying embrace this, because it's a once in a lifetime thing. Make the best out of it, whatever it is for you guys. Make the best out of it. So that's what you want to really start thinking. And think about all the things that you can do and you can have at the moment, because this is a time you will never get back. As I teach in my coaching, teach in my anything, is time is the most precious commodity that we have. You take 1 second, that second that I just said, that is gone. It's something, a memory. When I teach, make memories. Memories are something that you can never get back, but you can hold on to them and bring you joy and lift your vibrations. You can also make the light come in and cover the darkness, and this can bring vibrations up and change something in an instant. You know, so you really need to think of the light. You think of the high vibrations, think of joy. This is an opportunity for you, even if you have to do Zoom with your friends and stuff, and just embrace it, have joy, bring light, because you know what? The worst thing you can do is just woe is me and victim, and, you know, I'm all by myself, and, you know, la, 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 and lower those vibrations. Find a way to turn them on a 180 and bring those vibrations up. All right. So those are things. So do you guys have any questions about anything that I just went over, for those of you that like to ask questions. You're very welcome to ask questions anytime. But if you have any questions about just what I went over, just let me know. All right. So what I'm going to do is we're already into the full moon. So the energies are already there. So we'll do the energies for for today, tomorrow, and the next day. So the 3 energies that are for right now. So the current energies. The next card I will pull is, or the next oracle I'll pull is for New Year's Day. Now, some of you guys, if you're available, you're welcome to come on New Year's Day. That's a fun thing. That's something, if you want to just kick it and ask questions, be silly, be goofy, you know, ask me to tell a story. But this is about you, what you want. I love your comments, your feedback, because this is sort of a thank you for all your support for these last 6 months. This last 6 months have been really a flipping journey, let me tell you. And I'm getting busier and busier, which is okay. I love it. I love it. I love it. This is what God put me in this for. So, yeah, definitely. So, so if you have any questions, hey, Karen, thank you for popping in. Welcome. Oh, well, thank you. I hope you're learning or something resonates, and don't ever hesitate to ask a question. I always get giddy when somebody lifts me up because I'm not used to it. So I'm used to lifting myself up, but to hear it, I'm learning to receive. So that's my shadow work. I'm learning to receive because I've always been a giver, but it's been really hard to receive. So thank you for the compliment. I'm learning. Okay, so this today, the 29th, 30th, 31st, so we have the wasp, anger, retaliation, jealousy. Oh dear, wouldn't we like to do that? Well, we would just love to get back at those people that just did us wrong, right? Get them off the chart. Well, wrong thing to do. There may be some of that going on. And there may be some of that going on towards 2020. And this is what the divine is saying. You need to release this. Remember, we're releasing things to plant the new seed. What is your vision? What is your goal? You cannot go into a new vision, new goal, or anything with these energies. They have to be released. Well, how do I do that, Patty? You have to forgive them and move on. It's like, and that is the hardest courage challenge that anybody could do. If you need help with that, email me. I would be happy to help you because that is the only way that you can do that. When you forgive, and also too for those like me, here's the thing for me. I've lost my job in May and I'm unemployed, but I went back to owning my company again. And actually not, I just restarted it, put it that way. And the thing is that for my leather work, but I wasn't a good person way back then. I really wasn't. And I did things that I regretted. So this is a time to fix our wrongs. So I went back and I fixed a few wrongs and I released some debt. So we need to pay our debtors off because we carry that baggage with us if we don't. So any kind of baggage that you're carrying into or thinking you're going to carry into that you can release, that this is the time to do it in the next couple of days. This is really a huge time to do it in the next couple of days, because this is the time to release and start something fresh and new. A lot of 10s came up this week. A lot of 1s came up this week. And so this is it. You need to end these things. Just bite your pride. You know what? You can't go into the new year with pride. Pride is totally not at the divine's level. Because pride, you know what pride is? Pride tells the divine that you can do it alone. Pride tells the divine that, hey, I don't need anybody else but me. So the thing is that when you have pride, you need to lower the pride. You can have a little bit of pride. You can be proud of who you are and what you've become. But the thing is, pride hits a level where, you know, I did it on my own. I've heard that so many times. I did it. No, you didn't. The divine sort of gave you the resources to do what you needed to do. It's not all about you, kind of a thing. So we need to sort of look at that. Maybe that's on your list. Hey, how can I become less prideful? The other thing is that how can you release somebody who has hurt you? Oh man, that's a whole coaching session, huh? That's a whole coaching session. I do have videos on that. I am going to be doing a lot more Get Balanced videos, and my website has conjoined with Divine Warrior Intuitive. So if you look below, either one you click on, you're going to go to them. So that kind of a thing too. So you have to figure out how. Now, jealousy is not good too, because then you envy something that you don't have. You should be happy and blessed and grateful for the things you do have. So jealousy is an envy, and you should be happy where you're at. The reason why is you only got what you got because where the level you are at. Because maybe they're like with me back then, you know, I wasn't a good person. You know, I wasn't a good person at all. And so I wasn't given the blessings and the rewards because I couldn't be trusted with it. So now that I've gone back and released my debt with those people, then I would actually be able to get more in abundance because I can be trusted with it. What is it that you can't be trusted with? So that's where you have to go back and release the debt or release the burden, the devil card, release that burden, release those chains around your neck for 2021. All right. So let's see what other cards. I have the New Year energy. I'm going to wait on that one just to see what these cards bring. Also, the number on the wasp is the number 3. If you see it says 21, but that's actually 3 in numerology. And that means acknowledge it. Acknowledge, acknowledge, acknowledge. All right. Star, Patty, why is it that when it's a full moon, I get, what is that? I'm getting plenergy. What's plenergy? Or did my glasses, I need new glasses. Getting energy? Is that what you meant by getting energy? Well, it depends on the person. The energy, like sometimes the full moons, actually I'm pretty blessed with this one. The energies of the moon sometimes can drain me dry. And I'm wiped out for days. For other people, the full moon can actually boost their energies and just make them not want to sleep. It just depends on your DNA, depends on how connected you are. Oh my God, seriously. How connected you are with those energies and your level of comprehension of yourself. Yeah. And Karen, I've definitely been learning a lot and much. Oh, good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, yeah. 3 times the energy. But then here's the thing, too, for like crystals. It's really interesting because I did a full circle. I'm doing a lot of full circles, maybe because I'm getting old. But I did a full circle to a crystal shop I hadn't been to in 35 years. And this is where my journey actually began with a friend of mine. And I wanted to go back to that crystal shop because the couple that own it are in their 80s now. And when I first went into that crystal shop back 35 years ago, I couldn't be in it for more than 5 minutes. I'd get sick. I'd get nauseated. I was dizzy. I thought I was going to pass out. I'm very sensitive to those energies. And a few years after that, I went to a crystal booth at a state fair show of rock and crystals and stuff like that. And the gentleman had me hold a crystal, and it got so hot in my hand, extremely hot. I had to give it back to him. And so sometimes our energies are very sensitive to certain things. So paying attention to certain things, finding out, sort of like get a log and make a journal. What am I really sensitive to? Now I'm really sensitive to the ocean. You put me in one of those aquariums that covers you and everything. And I'm like, ooh, I'm a scuba diver. And I'm a scuba diver. I had never, ever had these energies before when I was scuba diving. But they grew, they awoken. However, if we go to Disney World, they have the Disney World, the big aquarium and Nemo and stuff. I want to sit there. My daughter hates it because you just want to sit there so you can get high. And I can sit there for hours. So very sensitive. Find out what you're sensitive. I'm very sensitive to the moon. Depending on the moon. New moons, full moons, very different. Remember, new moons are about a new cycle, new energy, so they could be much stronger. And it also depends on the planets and how they're aligned and where they're at and what they're doing to bring more energy. Remember, I was telling you about Saturn and Jupiter, how close they were and how those energies, and then you got the Christmas star and all the planets going around them. Wow. Blow your mind. So that, if I hope that helps answer. And that's fine. You just have to find out what and what makes your energies, and be really listening to your body. I know everything about my body. I know my body like the back of my hand. So anyway, so that's, hopefully that'll answer your question there. So getting back to the full moon reading. So these 3 days, right? So very interesting. Remember, because I said you have to release your burden, release your debts. You have to release all that kind of stuff. This is your first card out. I don't make this up. This is not me. So this is, sorry, this is not me. And this is the 8 of Swords. Now, want to even get a little spookier? Next card out, what was I talking to? Release your bondage, release everything else. The Devil pops up. I can't make this up. So somebody is really, really sticking to their energies of, you know, woe is me. You know, it never works out for me. It's that victim mentality, or it's a stuck mentality. And in order for you to break these chains, see how loose these chains are? These dudes could actually really loosen their chains and get them over their head and take off. But some people like drama. Some people, that's so toxic. So toxic. Some people live and thrive for drama. Because here's the reason why. If you go into coaching again, I'll try not to, is that they're broken from probably childhood. They never got the attention. Drama creates tension, so drama brings attention. So this could be one of the reasons. There's many reasons, but that could be one of them. So you have to look at a person when they create drama, or look at drama, or you don't want to deal with it, where their actually roots start from. Okay? So also, too, it doesn't do anything but make more drama, more trouble if you don't leave it in the past. I shuffled these cards. Shuffle. I can't make this up. This is divine. This isn't me. This is for somebody. So the 5 of Pentacles could be meaning that, you know, somebody's afraid of being left behind, or maybe you're going to leave something behind. Yes, you need to. Because you're starting a whole new cycle. And when the new moon comes, those plants, those seeds, whatever you do, those should be planted and ready to go. You know, that sprout should be coming up. All right. So again, this mentality is now shifting. In these next 3 days, begin to shift that mentality to where you want it to be. Yes. Shift it to where you want it to be. I can't make this stuff up. He's so funny. But yes, the 10 of Cups is, even though the 10 is an ending, we are ending the year. End it in a good note. End it to where your dreams and where you're going to take those forward. I'm sorry. He's so funny. He's so funny. Oh, you get full moons on migraines. You get migraines too. Boy, girl. Yeah. Yeah. Migraines are not a fun thing to go through. But yeah, just keep thinking about your energies and the way that it sounds like you're getting more in tune with your body as well. So this is how you want to end the year, is in a good note. Good note. And here's the thing. You can have, a lot of people, and you have to be realistic, but you can have the dreams. If you have a dream, I tell clients that, you know what, is it a dream or a pipe dream? So some people don't even know the difference between a dream and a pipe dream. Well, a dream is something that you have and then you make steps to get there. And you can do that if it's realistic. And if it's not, you know, then maybe rethinking the dream. But the other thing too, a pipe dream is something that you really want to do. Oh, like when I went to live in Japan, at the age of 14, I went to visit Japan with my mom, and I was like, I want to go live there someday. I want to go live there someday. And I was only 14. There was nothing I could do, but I could write letters to the person that we met that owned an English school. And so I did until I was 18. And then I got the offer to go live in Japan at the age of 18. And then at the age of 19, I went. Didn't know a lick of Japanese, hated fish, all that kind of stuff. All I knew is I wanted to go live in Japan. Why? I feel home there. I don't know why. If you believe in reincarnation, maybe. But the thing is that I felt, but I made a dream. I made the baby steps to make it happen. If it's my destiny, it will happen. These are destiny steps for my purpose. If it was my purpose, put it that way, then it would have happened. If it wasn't my purpose, something would have stopped it. So when you have a dream, make those steps. If it's not for you, the divine will put blocks in the road. He'll want to see how serious you are about it. Or if there's too many, he may just say, you know what, this isn't for you. I need you to go over here. Because a lot of the times when we think of our dreams and our purpose, some of the time, this was another thing that the things that the astrologer said. Sometimes, what was it with the full moon? Where was it? Okay, I even made a note. I made a note here. I put up, sometimes we get caught up in what we think we desire rather than what spirit is desiring for us. And that is so true. This is the full moon energy from Neptune when it squares with the nodes on the 30th, I think. So a lot of the times we want things that we really are not supposed to have. And so that might be an energy to think about for these last 3 days, because the divine will give us what we need. And I even hate saying that sometimes, only because I used to hate that. Well, I want a piece of property for my horse, and I never got it because you know what? I couldn't be trusted with it. Now maybe things have changed. My thought process has changed, so maybe I can be trusted with it. Maybe it'll come for me in 2021 after I've shown my due diligence to release my debt, to right my wrongs, to do those things. Here's the thing, the planets even say it. When the planets start talking about how the energies, how are the things that we need versus what we want, something to think about. So even in our relationships, we want tall, dark, handsome, model, actor, celebrity, whatever. But in all reality, is that what we need? We need somebody who has strength in our weakness, and I need somebody who has weakness where I'm strong, so that we're complementary. And that's what the divine gives us. So that's another thing that the planets were saying. We're not going to get everything we want, but the divine will give us what we need. All right. I don't know. I can't see the whole, let me see here. I can't see the whole chat, so I've got to scroll down a little bit. All right, so let's see. I'm just making sure. I've been getting trollers, and I've been getting some really negative emails, and it doesn't bother me. It's like, okay, you're being ignorant, but okay. So I got to really watch. I don't want you guys affected by any negative energies or any low vibrations. So, okay, so definitely. So for the, I'm going to move to the first of the year here in a sec. Okay, so we have to have patience. And these next, up until we have to have patience all the time, but temperance is about patience and also learning how to have patience, because this is a process. This is a time that we really need to think. Again, we're talking about, remember when I was talking about the full moon, how we're going to have inner conflict between external versus internal. This is the time where we need to be patient about the things that we want. They do take time. It's like I don't know how far this channel will grow, but it's like this channel trying to get 1,000 people or 1,000 subscribers is like pulling teeth, but maybe it's not supposed to. And that's not the reason why I'm here. However, I have to have patience, right? So that's like anything that we do. I'm Irish. I'm not patient. So I'm learning patience. That's my shadow work. But the other thing too is in the new year, things are going to start opening up and moving. And maybe they're not going to move as fast as we want them to, but they will grow, and we, as long as you stay patient, okay? We've got really, really intense Nine of Wands. Now, this means that, yes, you've gone through scars, you have wounds, you have everything, you know, that maybe you've been hurt, maybe, you know, you really have still some emotional issues as far as ties and trust and all those kind of things. This is probably for all of us. And the thing is, you've got to heal those wounds. Remember, the full moon said this is about inner healing. This is about inner healing time. I can't make this up. I cannot make this up. So this is about inner healing, inner time. The other thing too with that is you need to leave, as I tell you guys on all my readings, you need to leave the cemetery. You need to plant the flowers, plant the grave, say goodbye. It's done. It's over. Move on. And some people can go back and visit and be okay and leave that there. Some people cannot. It's time to put that to bed, say bye, and move on. That's hard to hear, but you know why? Because some people like to put a tent up there. And then before you know it, they've got a whole homeless camp there. And they've got their posse around them. And then they've got everything around them. And they're camped out in the past. They're camped out in the pain. They're camped out in the exes. They're camped out in the whatevers. The betrayal, the hurt, the anxieties, everything. Got to leave that there, guys. Got to leave it there. It makes us who we are. Can't forget it. It makes us who we are because that's our testimony. That's our witness. That's what I do. I mean, like I tell you guys, you know, I've been sexually abused and emotionally abused and verbally abused and things like that as a child. I did my child work. I'm not that child anymore. I've grown up. So those are things that you think about, and that's what the full moon is talking about as well. All right. So let's go to the New Year's energies here. The reason I held off on this is it's disruption. And thank you. Oh, okay. Download. It's a disruption because it's a whole new change. The new year is a whole new change. Thank you for brand new beginning. This is not for me. This is what I'm hearing. Brand new beginning. And it's also, wow, this is interesting. Because disruption is 39, but in numerology, it's 3. Our wasp was 21, which is number 3. So acknowledgement in both. We do need the acknowledgement. We do need to acknowledge we can't minimize what's happened to us in the past. Never ever minimize it, because then you devalue yourself. Never minimize what's happened in your past, but acknowledge what happened. Is it fair? No. Will it ever be fair? No. Will it ever be corrected? No. Will it always be unfair? Yes. But what you deal with that and what you do with that is really important. Acknowledge it. Acknowledge that, yes, 2020 was a disruption. The 2021 is going to be a disruption because we don't know what's going to be happening. We don't. The full moon is just giving us these energies. These are the energies for the first of the year, for up to the first of the year. These are energies that you might be thinking about. A lot of things for personal growth for 2021. What are you doing for your personal growth, your spiritual growth, your mental growth, your physical growth for 2021? All right, that's what the full moon is saying. Manifest it, baby. Manifest it. The Magician. This is for the New Year's Day. And again, New Year's Day is coming. It's only a couple of days away. Again, remember I said this is planting seed time. You can manifest. Well, vision, vision, vision. I'm going to pound it into your head. Have a vision, have a vision, have a vision, have a vision. Because if you're also, for those of you that are in lockdown and depressed and really struggling with depression or sadness or anything like that, if you build yourself a vision of something that you want, once all this mess is done, you have something to work for. And whatever you can do in the moment, there's the Google, there's everything. You have to do research for your vision. Start researching for your vision, whatever it is. I just spoke to a gentleman this morning, and he's dying for more spiritual growth. And I said, what is your purpose? What's your journey? What do you want to do? Well, I always wanted to do real estate, and I've been studying investment and stuff. I said, what's been holding you back? Oh, an ex-wife, living in the past, holding you back, staying bondage. So when I was coaching him this morning, we went into depth. But the thing is, now we've got the seed planted. The seed is planted, and there is movement. There is an offering. The Ace of Wands is about a new offering, something new. New Year's Day, New Year. But yes, we know that, and duh. But the thing is, you see the tombo? I don't know what you call it in your countries, but it's called tombo in Japanese, means dragonfly. So those are very, if you believe in luck, they're very good luck, very good things to come. And it's very true, because the things we're coming out of, we're going into the birthing canal, we're going to be coming out. What's the reward? A beautiful baby, right? But we have new beautiful things, if we look at them in that way. Some people are going to like, oh yeah, this is crap. Nothing's going to be the same. How many people, if they are home working remote, love working home remote home working, or however you say that? This is going to be a new age. I mean, for businesses, they will pay less overhead in buildings. They will. It's just a lot of new. And again, you've got the manifest of the magician. All right. Huge new energies. These are great. These are great. And I know you guys probably want to get out of here. So let me see. If you have any questions, though, go ahead and ask them now. If you haven't liked, shared, subscribed, or tell somebody or share it with somebody, that would be awesome too. This would be great. King of Cups, or the Knight of Cups, excuse me. The Knight of Cups is about a message coming towards your heart, your mindset, but it also is a message to yourself about your mindset. In this instance, this is new. This is all fresh, new. All right, fresh and new. Now, for, some readers, I'm not psychic. I'm intuitive. I'll never claim psychic, because the divine can take that away in a heartbeat. We are not to know the future. We can sort of have glimpses of the future. We just are not to know the future, because there's no way we could comprehend why he's doing what he's doing. All right. So these are energies. From not only from planets, but from him, the intuition that he gives me, or the downloads. I don't know who's talking to me half the time, but these probably your ancestors, let alone mine. And although when my mom speaks, I know her voice, and she does. I haven't heard her for a while, because she's always demanding something. Even after she's passed on, she's always demanding something. Look at that. Look at this. This is awesome. If it was I wish it was the Waite card, then you would really see it. But the 10 of Pentacles is all about, again, it's just like the 10 of Cups. The 10 of Cups is about family, heart, love, rewards of, things of the heart, kind of a thing. And it's everything that you have ever wanted. It's completed. It's like, oh, you complete me, Jerry Maguire. Anyway, so the 10 of Pentacles is about the abundance and harvest, not only of your career, but of your hard efforts to get where you want to go. Thank you. Beautifully said. Thank you. It is the hard efforts of where you want to go. This is your reward. It will be rewarded. Download, not me. Your hard efforts will be rewarded, was exactly what I heard. And we always think that those efforts are done by money. It's not. For some, it might be helping somebody in a rewarding way that they can't. And they just are elated. And that elated feeling, energy from them, is what is successful to you. And I did something, again, I righted it wrong, or however you want to say it, this last week. And I was scared crapless, because I didn't know how the person was going to respond, because this has been 6 years since I did my wrong. This is when I was a different person, probably 8 years, very different person, 8 to 10 years ago. Anyway, I didn't know how, and I didn't put my phone number, didn't put anything. I just wanted to right my wrong and hope that he forgave me. And I got a phone call the next day from them, and I actually have one of those where it says their name. For some reason, it glitched the name, so I didn't get the name, so I just picked it up anyway. And the thing was that he had said, you, by doing what you did, had restored my faith in humanity. We have no idea what little thing we will do to restore somebody's faith, to restore anything that we do, to complete their harvest, to make their journey. He's 88 years old. You know, he could have passed on before I did this, but he could pass on after I do this. But the thing is to leave that in that person's heart when they pass on, to have a higher vibration, a higher energy. We have no idea. I get goosebumps everywhere. So think about the things that you do, how you can complete something not only for yourself, but for somebody else. All right, Divine, is there anything else for them? And if any last questions, let me know. Yeah. But yeah, so this first year's energy is going to be disruption only because you're not going to be used to it. Okay, you're not going to be used to it. It's a transition. It's a transforming. We're in the cocoon. We're a butterfly. We're waiting to get our wings, and we're getting ready to. And the way that we're doing that, getting ready to burst through that cocoon, is by setting our visions, our boundaries, and all that kind of stuff. We're now getting the baby steps. Even if you're moving one toe forward, you're still forward movement. That's what Aquarius is about. Forward movement. When you see I did my thumbnail today for this week's reading, and I think you'll get a kick out of it. Forward movement. Just remember that when you see that, if you watch for your readings, because I got a kick out of it when I saw it. I'm like, that's it. We got to do this one. So we'll have fun with that. So, hi, Abigail. Is there a reason why I keep seeing double or having strong predictions? Well, you know what? When you said seeing double, you know what? One morning, might medically, first you got to rule out anything medically. I'm going to tell you that right now. The reason why I say that is I was laying in bed one morning, woke up, I'm looking at pictures on my wall, and I'm like, they're double. What happened? And I literally started seeing double. I was fine the night before. And the reason why was I had to have my daughter drive me around, but I called the doctor. You know, I thought, oh, it'll go away in the day. Didn't go away, so I called the doctor next day, went in, found out that one of my blood vessels had ruptured in my eye. So my eye had a stroke, basically. And I saw double for 3 months. So make sure that it's not a medical thing. But the other thing is when you have predictions or things like that, you cannot predict it's sort of like when I do dream interpretation, you can get an idea, but to see something exactly the way it is, that might change because it depends on how you use it. It's like when I would shake somebody's hand or knew when somebody was going to pass away, they didn't know they were terminally ill, but I did, but I don't share that with them. It's how you do that. So that's probably a stepping stone to something. Really pay attention to it. I would do a journal of what those predictions are, and start logging them and see really what happens with them. Because there might not be something that you're supposed to tell. Because it's not about that. It's not about that at all. I didn't even know my brother was going to be murdered. I just knew he was not coming home. I didn't know that he was going to be murdered brutally, but I knew he was not coming home. I knew that he was going to die in Florida. And I was like, that was my first big premonition about terminal or dying or anything like that. And I can go into that. Ask me on the 1st. That's the why I asked you guys to do that, is to come and just tell stories and all that kind of stuff. So last card out is the King of Pentacles. So we are looking to our future. We are looking to our things that we want for our future, not only for our future with our hearts, but our future with our finances, our goals. Now, remember too, this is a disruption. So maybe there's something that has to be changed that's new. Maybe there's something new that is forming. Maybe there is. So if there's something that keeps gnawing in the back of your brain or something like that, and it's sort of disturbing you, on the New Year's, this is sort of like when I say the divine, if you hear something 3 times or if you see something 3 times or whatever, they're trying to get your attention. So I say they, but the divine is the source, and he may send whoever as a resource, and that's what it is. But it's the divine is trying to get your attention about something. And remember, keep in the back of your mind that the Hierophant is the 2021 card of the year, and that it is going to be a spiritual journey for many, spiritual awakening, spiritual drawing to of the unknown, drawing and having questions and curiosities. And that is okay, because that maybe is why he has me here. I don't know why he has me here. I know that a year ago you would have never caught me in front of a camera. You would have never caught me taking pictures of myself. You would have never caught me doing any of this stuff, let alone he just said, do this and go. And I've been just pounding away for him, not for me. So this is for you guys. So really think about those things. The full moon has a lot of good energies along with Saturn, Jupiter, and everything that is moving and shifting forward. We are moving forward, people. We're not moving backwards. We're moving forward. So, take that, I'm into horses. So take that cart off the horse, separate it, maybe get on the horse's back and ride away into the sunset. I don't know where that came from. All right. If there's any last questions, I would be glad to do that for you, because I know we are at an hour, and that's a long time for you guys. And some of you guys, I think Germany, aren't you guys in sleeping time by now or something like that? Let's see. Seeing a word and then seeing it somewhere else is what I meant. Yeah, you might be doing that. If you see it again, then the divine's trying to get your attention for something. So really pay attention to those things. People don't pay attention to them. Really pay attention to them, especially if you're seeing it over and over. Like people talk to me about, well, I see this. I have the same dream over and over again. Tell me the dream. Let me see if I can interpret a little bit about it and see what might be going on. And lo and behold, sometimes it's a lot of things that we're going through. The answers are right there with dreams, or it's something that is maybe you're supposed to change your thinking about, or whatever. It could be a lot. There's a lot of things. So some dreams I can really interpret, and then some dreams I'm like, ooh, I don't want to even interpret those. But anyway, so yeah. So 10 p.m. Hey, not too bad. Not too bad. I feel good about that, because I think one night you were at 1 o'clock in the morning. I felt really, really bad. Those are my 1 o'clock, 2, 3 or something like that. Anyway. So don't forget about the 1st. This is a fun time, just questions, answers. I don't plan on doing any readings, but I'll do pick a card or something like that. Somebody has been asking me to do storytelling time. What kind of stories do you want to know? God, my life is so weird. My daughter's got me writing a book again. And I don't know what to write about. There's been so many. I said, tell me what you want me to write about. My first time in Japan, my 3rd time in Japan, because I've gone through some really weird things. But also too, my poltergeist. Do you want me to talk about my hoo-hoo-ness? Do you want me to talk about, what? So anyway. So I hope you guys please have a very safe. I know a lot of you guys are in lockdown. Don't get depressed. Embrace it and just acknowledge what's going on. Again, enjoy however you can. Lift yourself up. Even if you love music, you have to turn on music. If you have to, what's up? Maybe I should do a what's up on New Year's Eve. I could do a live what's up. But just to embrace it, because this is, as the divine just said and downloaded, this is something that is history. It's never going to happen again. It's never going to be the same again. So, and this is the one and only, I guess, New Year's we're going to have this, because that's what he's saying. So anyway, I hope you guys have a very, very safe New Year's. And I do want to say a thank you, huge thank you to, I will do this on the first two, but huge thank you for all those that have shared, brought people forward, supported everything that I've done. This has been 6 months, and it's been a learning. I mean, if you watch me from the very beginning, I suck. You should see some of my stuff. I look back, if you will go to Get Balanced 2020 to the first of the year and watch some of those videos, I'm like, oy vey, what was I doing? So thank you for your support through all this. I appreciate it. And I hope that I can keep doing this for the future. And God blesses me with all my amenities to be able to do it for the future. So you take care. Have a wonderful New Year's. And if I see you on the 1st, that's great. And if not, please just be safe. Keep your vibrations lifted up. And do your homework. Do your homework. All right. Take care, you guys. It's been lovely to see you. Blessings, everybody. Thank you, Karen, Abigail, Felix, Star. Thank you. I appreciate you guys so much.